Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now XRP is breaking out to the upside from this bullish flag pattern. So this is revealing the next massive trading opportunity that we could take, while Ethereum is getting close to invalidating this bearish divergence, while Chainlink is continuing the massive breakout on the larger timeframes from this massive bullish pattern, while this Solana chart is still currently looking bearish. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the weekly Ethereum chart, and right now Ethereum is still looking bullish on these larger timeframes, obviously in a larger bull market right now, and we are getting extremely close to breaking out above these previous highs right here, which are really sitting at around 4.1k approximately. And as I've said in recent videos here on the channel, once we break out above around 4.1k, expect a continued bullish move up towards the all-time high, sitting at just underneath 5,000. The all-time high is sitting at pretty much exactly around 4860 to 4870, so right in between around 4.8k to 4.9k. And so right around there, really around 4.7k to 4.9k, we'll likely find a decent amount of resistance on the Ethereum chart right there. But obviously, once we break out above 4.9k, then we're heading into new all-time highs beyond 5,000. But between now and then, we still have this 4.1k level acting as a bit of short-term resistance. And looking at the daily time frame, of course, we have this area of resistance in between around 3.9k to 4.1k. But as of recording this video, the price of ETH is trading in this area of resistance. So in the immediate short term, it's possible we could still struggle a little bit in this area. But like I just said, once we can finally see a confirmed breakout, ideally at least with a daily candle close, but ideally with a weekly candle close above 4.1k, then expect to move up towards the very high 4k price range, closer towards that all-time high. And so overall, not a lot has changed over the last day for Ethereum, but if we're taking a look at this daily Ethereum chart, right now we're getting very close to possibly invalidating this bearish divergence, because right now we're getting very close to breaking out into new higher highs in the price of ETH on the daily candle closes. But with that being said, if we confirm a new higher high in place in the price action, in that case, we could just reconfirm a new bearish divergence with new higher highs in the price if the RSI is still forming lower highs. And so in order to get rid of any chance of a new bearish divergence actually forming here, we ideally need to also see a breakout in the RSI above this previous high, because if we have higher highs in the RSI while also seeing higher highs in the price, then there's no divergence at all. And so we're getting closer towards that potentially happening, but for now, that has technically not happened just yet, which means in the immediate short term, talking about the coming hours, it's possible we could still struggle a little bit in this area. But like I just said, we're getting very close to that breakout. So at any day now, we could see a breakout beyond 4.1k. And it's at that point, once that actually confirms, we can finally start flipping much more bullish again in the short term, expecting that next bull run. And if we're taking a look at Chainlink on the weekly time frame, of course, Chainlink has already been on a bull run on the larger time frames, exactly as expected, because I've been talking about this bull run since before it happened at much, much lower prices here on this channel. And of course, I've been sharing for a long time now on the channel this massive bullish cup and handle pattern that's been forming since around the beginning of 2022. So like I just said, this is a bullish pattern for Chainlink, and this has already been confirmed now with 2 candle closes above this breakout line right here, above the neckline, which in case you're wondering is sitting at around $23 to $24. So for as long as we're still holding above $23 to $24, we're still looking good for this breakout. And in case you're wondering, the price target for this breakout pattern right here is sitting at around $90 per Chainlink, which from the current price as of recording this video to that price target, that's more than a 200% move towards the upside. And so technically speaking, we're still in the early days of this pattern actually playing out. We're still much closer towards the breakout than the price target. So we still have a long way to go here. But of course, even though we have that price target in play for this pattern right here, we cannot ignore resistance. We still have a lot of resistance between now and that much higher price target. First of all, we have a lot of resistance starting at close to $31 based on this Fibonacci level right here, and also more resistance at around $34 based on these previous highs. So really in between between around $31 to $34. We have a lot of resistance on the price chart right there. And so far, we have seen a bit of a short-term rejection from very close to $31. And so that is the resistance to pay attention to here in the shorter term. But once we can ideally see a weekly candle close above around $34, then after that actually confirms, expect a continued bullish move up towards the all-time high, which is sitting at around $53, but essentially around $50 to $53. We'll likely find some resistance there as well. And so these are two major areas on the price chart where the price of Chainlink will likely stop or basically struggle in the short term around these areas on the chart, because we have a lot of resistance around these areas. But overall, we're still looking bullish when it comes to the larger bull market on the larger timeframes. But if we're zooming into the shorter term, looking at the 4-hour time frame, technically speaking, we've essentially just reconfirmed a new bearish divergence here in the short term with an ever so slight higher high right here and basically horizontal highs right here, but still lower highs in the RSI. So that's still a form of a bearish divergence. And as I've said recently here on the channel, ideally, in order to actually invalidate this bearish divergence, we need to see a breakout in the RSI, not only above this line of resistance, but ideally above a previous high in the RSI to actually start forming new higher highs in the RSI. And then in that case, we can call this bearish divergence invalidated. And so while this is still the case here in the short term, technically speaking, it's telling us that we're just lacking bullish momentum in the immediate short term. So talking about a matter of hours or days, that sort of time frame. But remember, when we're zooming out, looking at the bigger picture at what could play out over weeks or months, we're still looking very bullish on the larger timeframes. It's just right now in the short term, we're taking a bit of a break, a bit of a cool off with this short-term bearish divergence technically still active. But if you want to get set up, ready to go to take these massive trading opportunities, which I'll share in just a moment, another trading opportunity right now. Personally, I take a lot of my trades over on my BTNex account, so I'll make sure to leave a link to BTNex below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here, which is an exclusive deposit bonus that you can only claim using that link. So if you simply just click that link to make your account and then deposit $100 worth of crypto and start trading, you get a $20 bonus. Or if you deposit 500 USDT and start trading, you get a $100 bonus. Or if you deposit just 1,000 USDT and start trading on your account using that link, you get a $200 bonus into your account. And so if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, or if you're preparing to take the next trading opportunity, definitely make sure to check this out. Once again, first link below this video if you want to claim these extra bonuses. And in case you're wondering, BTNex is a no KYC exchange, which means you can access it from basically any country in the world without needing any KYC. But for whatever reason, if you don't want BTNex, there is also Bybit, which is another exchange that I also trade on. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit as well in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link, you can claim a 500 USDT position airdrop. So basically a free $500 trade as your first trade over on Bybit. But that is only available if you use the link below this video to make your Bybit account and deposit on that account. But with that being said, taking a look at the price of XRP on the weekly time frame. And as I've been saying for a long time now on the channel, XRP is still currently looking bullish when it comes to the larger time frames here. But of course, we still have that major point of resistance at very close to $3. If we're looking at this 1618 Fibonacci extension level, that's sitting at pretty much exactly $3, and also just underneath $3. Obviously, we have front runners selling just before that resistance, creating some resistance right underneath $3. So really in between around $2.90 to $3, we have a lot of important resistance right there. But once we can eventually see a confirmed breakout above $3, in that case, expect a move honestly well beyond $4 as a likely scenario. And as for significant support on the larger timeframes, we do have this significant level of support based on previous resistance now acting as new support, and that's sitting at around $2. So overall, not a lot has changed over the last few days for XRP on the larger timeframes. But if we're zooming into the short term, looking at the 4-hour time frame, we are now officially continuing the bullish breakout from this bullish flag pattern. Because obviously over the last few days, I've been talking about this bull flag pattern. And a couple of days ago, I mentioned that we initially confirmed this breakout right here and we're seeing a small retest. But in the immediate short term, we were lacking a bit of bullish momentum. But right now, we're finally starting to gather some bullish momentum here for this breakout. And in fact, as of recording this video, we've just recently made a new higher high above these previous highs right here and above these highs right here. So of course, in the short term, this is bullish price structure. We're breaking out above resistance, creating higher highs and also creating higher lows in the short term. That is bullish price structure. And if we're taking a look at a flagpole price target for this bullish flag pattern breakout right here, that price target is sitting at approximately $3.80. And so from the point of the breakout to that price target, that was potentially around a 60% move towards the upside, or from where we are right now, as of recording this video, to that price target, that's still more than a 40% move towards the upside with no leverage, or for example, with a 10x leverage long position, a 400% profit. And technically speaking, yes, that price target is in play right now. It is active because we have already confirmed the breakout and confirmed a retest, flipping previous resistance into new support. So that is an active price target right now, playing out for this bullish flag pattern. But as I always say, even though we have a bullish price target in play, we cannot ignore resistance. We still have points of resistance between now and that price target. Like for example, at around $2.90 to $3, expect a lot of resistance right around there. And so when it comes to my trading strategy for the price of XRP, yes, I am taking this trade right here. I have recently entered into a new XRP long position to long this bullish breakout right here. And currently I have my stop loss close to my entry right around here. Because essentially, if we come back down to break back below this point of the breakout right here, that would be the invalidation signal to watch out for. Because if we break back below roughly around $2.37, then in that case, that would invalidate this breakout and invalidate that price target. So that would be a potential point to think about a stop loss. And when it comes to exiting this short-term long position right here, personally, I'd look to take some profits out of that trade at around key levels of resistance. Like for example, around that $2.90 to $3 area, we're likely going to find a decent amount of resistance there. So I'd potentially take just some profits out of that long position around there. But I'll not necessarily close the entire long position there because obviously there's also a chance that we keep pumping. So in that case, I'll keep the rest of the trade still open, just close a portion of the trade in case we just keep pumping towards this price target. And then also just before this price target, I'll take another chunk of profits out of that trade. And as I usually do with most of my long positions, as the trade moves further and further into profits, I just slowly move my stop loss further and further into profits so that in the worst case scenario, if for whatever reason we just see a crash back to the downside, in that case, that will just hit my stop loss and close the trade automatically at wherever my stop loss is sitting at. So if my stop loss in the case of a long position is above my entry price, then even in the worst case scenario, it'll just hit the stop loss and close the trade automatically in profits. And so that is the current trading strategy here in the short term for the price of XRP. As always, not financial advice. I'm just simply sharing what I'm currently doing with my own money. And once again, if you want to get set up, ready to go to take these trading opportunities right here, check out those links below this video to those exchanges if you want to claim those extra bonuses. But with that being said, taking a quick look at the price of Solana on the 3-day time frame. And right now, Solana is still finding a lot of support at around $210. So we still have that area of support in between around 200 to 210, which is a critical area on the price chart. Because as I've explained recently here on the channel, if Solana breaks back below around $200, in that case, we'll basically be breaking back into this previous sideways price range, which would be bearish price structure. That'll be the price basically going backwards. And so for the Solana bulls out there, that is definitely the area to hold above in order to basically prevent any further bearish price action for the following weeks or months here. So that is the area once again to watch out for. But if we're taking a look at the 8-hour time frame, technically speaking, we're still trending in the bearish direction in the short term, forming lower highs and lower lows. So the short term situation for Solana is of course bearish right now until we can at the very least see a breakout above this line of resistance right here, which is sitting at around $228. But ideally on top of that, we also need to start seeing higher highs actually confirm in the price of Solana before we can start flipping more bullish again here in the short term. And as for other levels of support and resistance to watch out for in the short term, we do have a small amount of resistance right here that we could find in the short term sitting at around 222 to 223. And above that, we have more resistance at around $232. And then above that, we have significant resistance at around $246 and more significant resistance at around $260. And personally, I would only start flipping more bullish again on the price of Solana if we can at the very least see a breakout above above around $232. At that point, I'll start flipping a bit more bullish again in the short term. But ideally, if we can see a confirmed breakout with candle closes back above 246, then in that case, that would be very bullish here in the shorter term. And I would expect a continued pump likely into new all-time highs if we can break out back above 246. But for now, in the current situation, technically speaking, Solana is still currently bearish, at least in the short term. And if we're taking another quick look at the Solana Bitcoin chart, this is Solana versus Bitcoin on the 3-day time frame. And I won't go too much into detail about this chart right here because I did that in my last video here on the channel. And so, of course, in my previous altcoin video just yesterday, this was the chart that I was talking about when I was talking about that possible 20% altcoin dump coming soon. Because if we're simply measuring out from where we are right now as of recording this video on this Solana Bitcoin chart to this bearish price target based on this active pattern playing out right now, that's more than a 20% move towards the downside. But remember, this is the Solana Bitcoin chart, not Solana against the US dollar, which means this doesn't necessarily mean the Solana US dollar chart right here will dump 20%. And so, for example, it's possible that Solana against the US dollar could, let's just say, dump 5%, while Bitcoin pumps 15%. That could push this chart to the downside, down 20%. Because essentially, when this chart goes to the downside, it simply means Solana is underperforming against Bitcoin. So in other words, it would make more sense to hold Bitcoin over Solana while this chart is bearish, technically speaking. Not financial advice, that's just what this chart means. And this bearish break to the downside here and this bearish price target on the Solana Bitcoin chart on this 3-day time frame would only invalidate if we see a breakout back above this level on the price chart, which as of right now has obviously not happened. So overall, Solana is technically looking bearish right now, especially against Bitcoin. But either way, if you want to trade these moves in the price of any crypto, once again, check out those links below this video to claim those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, you can profit from all of that price action by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions. And the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.